Hi everyone and welcome. Today we're going to do something a little bit different, and what I've done is I've put together the top 10 questions that have been submitted to my videos from you, the viewers. These are in no particular order, and it would be very helpful for those new cruisers as well as all those experienced ones out there to learn from one another and hopefully make their cruise vacation even better. So let's get started right after this. There are a lot of cruise tip videos out there, and I hope putting together this top 10 list of questions that you've submitted will help everyone. Hi, if you're new here, I'm Doug and this is Seymour Seas. We are a cruise tips and planning channel where I always hope to help you and your family pick, plan, and enjoy your next cruise vacation. If you find this video helpful in any way, as always, please do give it that thumbs up and consider subscribing. I've got a lot of great content coming up as well as a few surprises in the weeks ahead. So thanks so much for stopping in today, and let's get started. One of the most popular questions that come up is that what is included with my cruise fare? Now, this is beginning to get much more complicated as different promotional packages are being presented by the cruise line, but most often than not, your cruise fare is going to consist of almost all of the food on board. This is in the main dining room for dinner, as well as on most sea days. That main dining room is also going to be open for breakfast as well as lunch. So that is all complimentary, included in your fare. The buffet obviously is also included in your cruise fare, and that is normally open also for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. There are several other complimentary food venues around the ship. Most often you'll find the burger place with the hot dogs beside the pool. There might be a pizza place that's near there, a deli, the soft serve ice cream. All of those are normally complimentary and available throughout most of the day and sometimes even into the late night. All of your entertainment is also going to be included. This takes place in all of the major shows in the main theater. It also consists of all of the small bands or duets or ensembles that you'll see across the ship, including DJs, probably in the dance club late at night. So all of this is included. Now, one thing that I have done on a couple cruises, there was a slight upcharge for a couple fee-based events. One was on MSC for their rock circus, and I believe on Norwegian I did a wine tasting and theater show combination, which was a comedy, which was also an added charge. And one of the reasons why this question is coming up so often is that a lot of the cruise lines are presenting different packages that include a lot more than just your food and entertainment. Now, these sometimes include your Wi-Fi, your drinks package. These are promotions like Celebrities All Included, Norwegians, Free at Sea, Holland America, Have It All. Princess has Princess Plus, and all of these contain different items. And one thing that they do all have in common, though, is that those items that are being bundled and put together are normally the entry-level items for those types of perks, such as the drink package is going to be the basic or classic drink package. The Wi-Fi is going to be at the basic lowest speed. And many times also you will have to pay for those gratuities at checkout, similar to Norwegian's Free at Sea. They give you a lot of different options, but then when you check out, it actually costs you more money because you need to pay the gratuities for those. So it's very confusing. So that is why this is so important to work with your travel agent and know exactly what you're getting. Our upcoming Holland America includes 2 specialty dining venues, as well as onboard credit, as well as excursion credit. So we'll talk about onboard credit here in just a few minutes. Now, if you're on more inclusive luxury lines, many times all of those higher level services are going to be included as part of your basic cruise fare. That would be like Regent Seven Seas, Oceania, Windstar, other luxury cruise lines that are truly all-inclusive. They're going to have those included in your fare. So again, make sure you're checking with the cruise line or your travel agent so you know exactly what is included. So the next one up on the list has been a debate that's been around ever since cruising has begun. And that is, do I need to pay the gratuities? Well, the short answer to that is no, you don't, but you should. So the way the cruise lines pay their crew members is that they somewhat include the gratuities paid by the guest as part of their compensation. Now that could be either right or wrong, but that's just kind of the way it is right now. So one of the greatest options that they're doing is either including these gratuities in the cruise fare, or you always have the option to prepay these gratuities, which is a daily rate based on the level of services that you're receiving for your class of stateroom. For instance, suites pay a higher gratuity than balcony or ocean view cabins. So I recommend that you prepay those gratuities so that you have completely budgeted for those costs and they are not a surprise or taps into your overall budget once you get on board. If you do not prepay, what they will do is they will add either the daily amount of gratuities per person to your onboard account that you've set up either with a cash outlay or normally with a credit card. And these are normally daily rates. However, sometimes they are tacked on either at the very beginning or at the very end of the cruise. Now, these gratuities are split through several crew members, some that you see and some that you don't see. So you are able to go down to guest services and get these gratuities reduced or removed if you feel it necessary. I highly recommend that you reconsider that and that these gratuities are base gratuities, and I feel that all crew members deserve these. Now, one thing I also do is I make sure that I bring cash on board to reward those crew members that I think went above and beyond. And these people might be people like your cabin steward, might be a favorite bartender that you have. It could be the dining staff, the waiter, the assistant waiter that you have each night. If you have loyalty status and you have a concierge available, sometimes they work wonders for you. If you're in a suite and you have maybe a host or a butler, they also go above and beyond and deserve a little bit extra. So I always plan on that if the occasion should arise where I feel that someone deserves a greater gratuity than the standard prepaid. So the third question that came up is, what is onboard credit? Now, as I explained some of those packages that are being presented out there by the cruise lines, many times they're providing each of the guests with onboard credit. This is simply money to spend on board that is credited to your onboard spending account, which again, you have set up beforehand, normally using a credit card. And as you do things throughout the week of your cruise, like going shopping, buying some aspirin, or upgrading to a better Wi-Fi, or maybe getting specialty dining, or anything that costs additional fees on board, the onboard credit can be used for that. Now, there are a couple different types. Some of these come in the form of maybe cancellation refunds that you had on your account, maybe future cruise credits that you had, and these work very similar to cash. And those that are presented to you as part of a promotion at booking many times are kind of like use it or lose it and non-refundable. So normally if there's a credit balance at the end of your cruise, it will be credited to that credit card that you used to set up your onboard spending account. If it is a non-refundable onboard credit, that will not be credited. You will forfeit that money. So it's very, very important to understand which type of onboard credit you have and make sure you're asking your travel advisor or the cruise line or even guest services while on board which type that you have. You also might have a couple different types of onboard credit that are specialized, meaning that they could be simply excursion onboard credit that you can apply to excursions. We have that with our upcoming Holland America tour where we had $200 each to use towards excursions. We also had 2 specialty dining venues that we were able to book beforehand that also came in the form of an onboard credit. So make sure that you're understanding what they can be used for. Standard onboard credit can be used normally for any item that you wish to purchase, whether that be a physical item, an upgrade to your Wi-Fi, an upgrade to the drink package. Normally, onboard credit can be used either pre-cruise on the pre-cruise planner or once you get on board. Here's another one that's widely debated, and that is, do I need to purchase a ship-sponsored excursion? Again, the answer there is no, you do not have to. It is widely known that a ship-sponsored excursion, the ones that you purchase through the cruise planner on the website or through the excursions desk, will have normally a guarantee that if you are late returning to the ship, that the ship will not leave without you. They try to scare you into not doing third-party excursion tours based on the fact that you will not have that same guarantee. Well, a lot has changed in the industry, and most all reputable third-party tour operators will also have a guarantee that if for whatever reason the bus breaks down or you are late getting back to the ship and the ship leaves without you, that they will guarantee that they will get you to the next port to meet the ship. It's not exactly the same, so you need to make that decision, but there are many, many very reputable tour operators out there that are normally much cheaper than the ship excursion, and many times it's much more personalized, meaning that it's not going to be a group of 50 people, it might be a minivan full of 6 people. So make sure that you check all of those out, do your research beforehand, say on TripAdvisor or Cruise Critic, and find out which ones have the best services, best reviews, and important, the guarantee to get you back to the ship on time. There are also some very cool personalized tour operators out there, such as Tours by Locals, which normally is a driver that is from that area. They are local, and they will drive you around and show you all the local attractions and give you the history of that location that you're probably not going to get from a major tour operator. Another popular question out there is, should I get the internet package? Is it worth it? And that's up to you. If you want to stay connected, most of the promo packages are going to include the basic surf internet speed package, which is fine for email, for Facebook, for Twitter, for most social media, uploading a small amount of pictures here or there, but probably not a video. So if you want to just stay in touch, the surfing package is going to be just fine. If you do have that as part of your package, normally you can upgrade to the premium per person, not both of you, if that is something that you want to achieve. So this would be people that wanted to stream music, that wanted to stream video, watch YouTube, watch a movie, do any Zoom calls, if you wanted to do Wi-Fi calling or maybe even FaceTime, you're going to need the premium high-speed internet. Now, luckily, most of the major cruise lines are quickly installing the Starlink satellite internet service. So Royal Caribbean was the first to start doing this. Most of the fleet has it, including Celebrity. NCL just announced it. Carnival says it's going to be fleet-wide, which includes Holland America and Princess. And another smaller American line, American Cruise Line, which has riverboats throughout the Mississippi and through all the major regions and regional ocean cruises, they are going to be the first to have their entire fleet outfitted and enabled by the Starlink internet service. So just like with internet, the same question comes up about the drink package. Is it worth it? Well, the math normally works out on most cruise lines that if you're going to have 6 to 7 drinks per day, including cocktails, beer, wine, specialty coffees, bottled water, that it normally works to your favor to get the drink package. Now, some cruise lines do limit the amount of drinks you can have per day to 15, so make sure that you're looking into that as you choose your drink packages. Now, the classic package normally has drinks on it that cost up to $9 or $10 per cocktail or drink. It also includes specialty coffee and bottled waters, whereas the premium package normally has drinks that are up to, say, $12 to $14 per drink, and that should include more upgraded liquors, upgraded wines, and also imported beers. Now, one thing that I've experienced on several cruise lines is that if you want to upgrade from the classic that may come with your promotional package, you can do so for a charge to the premium, but both people in the stateroom, just like both people need to purchase the drink package, they also both need to upgrade the package to whatever package that you're going to. Now, one thing that you can do is go to guest services and get one of those drink packages reduced maybe to just a soda package if for whatever reason, for medical reason or by choice, that individual does not drink alcohol. So make sure that you keep that in mind if that situation pertains to you. Another interesting question that comes up quite a bit is, do I need to make reservations ahead of time for everything? Well, if you have a flexible dining time, such as a My Time dining or Anytime dining or freestyle dining, you may want to go onto the cruise line website and go into each of those individual days and, if possible, make a reservation for that night based on whatever that you have going on for that particular evening. Now, I do that all the time with Royal Caribbean and Celebrity. It's very, very easy to do. And I always go in and make reservations for my specialty dining way beforehand, so I have the day and time that I want for that particular venue. Now, entertainment on board is another issue. Most times, the entertainment is not able to be booked until you get on board. So make sure that when you do get on board, you go to the app or one of the touchscreen kiosks on the ship and make those reservations for those major theater shows. If for whatever reason it is sold out, I do highly recommend you still go and wait in the standby line, and probably 9 times out of 10, you're still going to get in to see that show. If you have a specialty dining package, say you have 3 specialty dinings for your 7-night cruise, this also many times is not able to be booked until you get on board. So make sure that you head to the reservations desk, which is normally outside of one of the specialty restaurants, and make sure you grab your dates and times as soon as you get on board. My recommendation is anything that you can reserve ahead of time online through the planner website, I absolutely recommend that you do that. even if it is a complimentary item. The next question I hear still quite a bit is, do I need a tux, a suit, or an evening gown for dinner in the main dining room? So most of the cruise lines today have really relaxed their dress codes for the dining room. Now, there still are what they call formal nights, which could be called things like dress your best or evening chic. You'll hear on some lines. And all this means is that make sure that you have maybe some slacks, a collared shirt. You don't even really need a tie, nor do you need a jacket. But you'll see people still in their tuxes and evening gowns, and many people like to do that because there are excellent ship photographers with a variety of different backgrounds that you can get some very wonderful family portraits done. So people still do this a lot. But the main dining room for dinner does allow you to wear nice jeans and a polo or a cocktail dress or even slacks to dinner on every evening of the cruise. Specialty restaurants do this as well. They just ask that there is no shorts or swim attire for dinners. However, for breakfast and lunch, many times they do allow this. And in the buffet, you're also going to have similar restrictions. Based on dinner, you may not get away with swim attire, but you definitely will get away with shorts and t-shirts for the buffet, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Okay, next up, and this comes from new cruisers. Am I gonna get seasick? Well, most all major modern cruise ships have what are called stabilizers. They're basically wings that come out on the side of the ship that stops it from moving and limits the amount of motion that you feel when there are rough seas. So I've really never felt much motion on a cruise ship, and I don't get seasick, but many people are very afraid of this happening. Just take some of the standard over-the-counter precautions such as Bonine or Dramamine or other items such as that. There's actually these little compression wrist devices that are said to limit seasicknesses, as well as ginger root, ginger ale, and even I've heard green apples sometimes help seasickness. Now, if you are prone to motion sickness, then I recommend that you choose a cabin that is in the middle of the ship on a lower floor. That way, you're going to limit the exposure to any motion that you might feel from the ship, because that's going to be the best area. So, like I said, most of the major large cruise ships, you're not even going to be able to tell that you're on the ocean most of the time. So just take some of those small precautions with you. Hopefully you're not even going to need it. The final question that I get is, can I use my cell phone on board to make phone calls? Well, I will tell you, my recommendation is that as soon as you begin to leave port around dinner time, go ahead and put your phone on airplane mode. This will protect you from any different charges that you might get from roaming or by accident using your cellular service for any data, say for your email. Now, there are plans that you can get from your provider that will provide you with cell service on the cruise ship, which is a different type of cellular provider than you'll find on land, but it's usually pretty expensive. And there are international plans that you can get to use while you're in ports in other countries. These are normally a limited, like for 1 month for $10, you can get 60 countries. You can look into that, but my recommendation is if you want to stay in touch, you do that through the Wi-Fi plan that you're on through email, text messages, and social media. Now, if you are in the Caribbean, something that people get confused with is that in Puerto Rico, when you dock in San Juan, you will have U.S. cell service without any roaming charges, normally. If you go to St. Thomas, which is a U.S. Virgin Island, this same rule does not apply. So if you do want to use your cellular service in San Juan, you're going to be able to do it, but St. Thomas would be an international roaming charge. So do keep that in mind when traveling to the Caribbean. And there you go. Those are the top 10 questions asked by you, the viewers, from my channel. So thank you very, very much for stopping by. If you do have additional questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments below. I'm always happy to answer any question. So thanks so much. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give it that thumbs up and please subscribe. I would love to have you part of my C team. Thanks again for stopping by, and as always, I'll see you again soon.